From my previous video, I've shown you how to package, build, and deploy your application onto development environment and then manually promote it onto UAT. So now it's time to promote everything into production, but instead of having 100% cut over, I wanted to play it safe. So I wanted to have 30% of the traffics going into the new application, the new change application that I just done, and having the remaining 70% go to the old application, which is still running in my production environment. And other than that, I also wanted to change and update some of the configurations that I've done on my API management level, which is changing the number of traffics that is allowed to go through and go into my application per minute. So let's get started. Before we go and start and kick off the pipeline in production, I wanted to show you quickly in the API management side of the story. This is where I configure all the API management configuration. And if you go into the integration and application plan, you'll notice that I have set a limit for all my hits by limiting 50 hits per minute. So I'm only allowing 50 requests per minute. And in a moment, I'm going to change that down to 25 because I'm updating things onto production. I don't want to have a large catastrophic failure if I allow a lot of people coming in at the same time. So let's kickstart the pipeline by going into my pipeline project and then start the A/B testing pipeline. What this is going to do, it's going to take the image that you built in UAT and then copy that into the production environment where you're going to see it in the production image repository. The image is later on used to start up an instance in the production environment. As you can see here, it's now ready to start, and it's starting a new services underneath the with the old gateway, and 30% of the traffic is now directing to the new services, and 70% remaining traffic is going to the old stable services. It also updates the limits when I set in my API management level. Before I had a application plans of 50 limits. So it limits the number of flows from 50 to now 25. And so everything's done automatically, and let's see if it's ready. So yeah, so I'm just gonna test it with my production URL. So let's go back to the integration. Start by copying and paste the URL of the production, and then simply give it another key and then click on the logo, and it's redirect me to green. It's gonna click again, it's green again, click again, green, click. Now it's blue, click again, it's green, green, blue. So now you know it redirects to different colors and stuff like that. So it has a random chance, 70% of them will go to green and 30% of them will go to blue. And now we know that it works. So let's promote everything into real life production. And just by going, so just to point out that the restriction now that I have for my hits limit was 25. Now I also wanted to change that to 50. So I'm just gonna click on the start pipeline. So what this does is instead of reproducing everything again and deploying everything again, it's going to shut down the new services and then also the old stable services, and then move that new services that I have just created as the stable ones. So now the stable services would become the services that I created before, and then it's been replaced. And let's wait for a couple of minutes for it to start. Once the new services is available, so this new stable services will now provide the color for my logo. So now I can start by clicking the logo, and now it will all returned blue to me. So now the colors has been changed to blue, and now that this process from development, UAT, and now everything's in production. And let's take a look at the limits in my API management. Now it's now 50 again. So that's it for the Agile Integration CI/CD demo.